math friends, let's go ahead and check out our study guide for linear equations. So our first one asks us to determine slope and y-intercept. Look at our equation here. It's in y equals mx plus b. It's in our slope-intercept form. So the slope here, 1. Y-intercept, I've got my plus b plus 43. So my intercept is 43. Now, we also need to remember that this is plotted as 0, 43. All right, next one says to consider this equation. This is in standard form, ax plus by equals c. It says to state the intercepts as an ordered pair. So remember with my intercepts, I get my x-intercept by setting y equal to 0. So if y is 0, 3 times 0 is 0. So I'll have 2x equals 18. Solve that equation, divide 2. X is 9. I've got 9, 0. I'll set my y-intercept by having x equals 0. 2 times 0 is 0. So I have 3y equals 18. Divide by 3. And I have y is 6. So I have 0, 6. Next I have point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So I have 2 points, and we want to know all this information. So let's see what we have first. We have an x1 and y1, x2, y2. All right, before I start anything here, I'm going to go ahead and plug these in. y1 goes here, negative 29. It just fits my equation, right? x1 is 43. That goes here. Now I need to calculate the slope. So our slope, remember, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, so I can set this up properly. Negative 98 minus negative 29 over negative 132 minus 43. Okay, when I calculate that out, I've got negative 69 over negative 175. Now simplify. Negative negative is positive. So this is positive 69 over 175. That's our slope. All right, let's check out the next part here. So same thing, point slope form, but this time they give us a point and they give us the slope. If they give me the slope, I have no calculation to do. Remember with each of these, try this out and then use this video to check. Here's my slope. Here's my point, x1, y1. So 8.32 over here, negative 12.4 over here. Write the equation of this. If it has the same slope of the line as y equals negative 8 and passes through the point 97. So y equals negative 8. That would look like this. So my slope is 0. If my slope is 0, then I want it to be flat like that, 9,7. The only way you can pass through 9,7 and have a slope of 0 is if it's parallel. 9,7 is over here somewhere. So I've got y equals 0x plus, now how high up is it? Is that 9 or 7? Remember, x, y. 7 is how high up it is. So we got y equals 7. You could have 0x plus 7, but we can simplify it because 0 times x is 0. So I got y equals 7. Okay, last one on this first page. Write the equation of a line using the given information. The line has a slope of negative 12 and a y-intercept of 4. So m is negative 12, b is 4, mx plus b, negative 12x plus 4. Done. All right, matching the equations to their graphs. This is a little bit tricky, but let's use what we know, right? I've got standard form, I've got mx plus b, I've got point slope, I've got mx plus b. I'm going to start with this y equals 1. This is one I have to remember. My slope here is 0. This is a horizontal line. Look at my 4 choices. It's got to be A. Okay. I like to go to my mx plus b next. So b is negative 2. M is negative 1/2. So I'm going to start at negative 2. Of these, this is the only one that starts at negative 2. Then down 1, right 2. So it's got to be B. Okay, my other two, I'm going to look at my point slope here. y minus 3 equals 2/3 x plus 1. So 2/3 positive slope. Which one has a positive slope? Okay, you probably guessed it right. It's D. The other one's got to be C, but let's check out y. If I put in a 0 for y, I got x equals 6. So I've got 6, 0. So over to 6, 6, 0. If I plug in 0 for y, sorry, if I plug in 0 for x, then I've got 2y equals 6. Divide by 2, and I've got y equals 3. So I've got 0, 3. That's where I got that plotted. All right, checking out the next part for us. Considering this equation, we want to do the x and y intercepts again. We already did a problem like this, but let's do it again. So if I set y equal to 0, I got 8x equals 16. Divide by 8, and you got x equals 2. So I've got 2, 0. Let's do the same for y. Set x to 0, so I have 2y equals 16. Divide 2, y equals 8. 0, 8. Plot the equation. So now when we plot this, we're going to plot the 2 points. I'm going to plot 2, 0 and 0, 8. Okay. Now, when we do this digitally, this will automatically go ahead and plot as a line for you. But on paper, we're going to use a straight edge. Okay. If you don't have a ruler, use what you got. Use an envelope or something. Okay. Last part down here, don't forget this one. Use the intercepts to determine the slope of the line. So if I start at 8, this is a negative slope. I'm going to go down 8, so negative 8 over 2. So my slope is negative 8 over 2. Simplify that to negative 4. All right, we've got this classifying one, discrete, continuous, and all these other things. Okay, so part A, discrete or continuous. If I look at this line, okay, this line, this one didn't print very well, but this is a solid line on your sheet. This is discrete, or sorry, this is continuous. It includes everything in between. Discrete would mean it's only like a few dots. The graph is linear or nonlinear. The graph looks nice and straight, linear. When I look at it, is it increasing, decreasing, both increasing and decreasing, or neither increasing nor decreasing? So I've got 4 choices. So left to right, right? If I have a guy on it, we read the graph just like we read words. It goes left to right, so it's got to be increasing. All right, let's look at our mapping. For the mapping, remember with the ordered pairs, I've got my x values here and my y values here. So let's start to look. -1 pairs with 5. So -1, 5. That checks out. Let's see what else we have. I have 1, 5. That does not check out. -1, 5. 5, -1. Ooh, this one's flipped around. That does not check out. Okay, let's see what else. 0, 3. So we've got 0, 3, 3, 0, 0, 3, 3, 0. So I've already eliminated these. These can't be correct because they have a wrong answer in them. So I'm already down to A or C. Next one, 1, 5. Yes, no. And it looks like the others are the same. So I've already narrowed it down. It's got to be C. Okay. Does this mapping represent a function? So remember, I'm looking at these. Does each of these inputs only go to one output? Yes. The way that it wouldn't is if I had like 2 going to 5 and 11, but it's not. So we're going to say yes. Domain. Domain is my x values. Let's write them in order in brackets. -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Range. Same idea, but for the y values. 3, 5, 11, 21. Use those brackets. All right, this one, a little bit tricky. Y equals 8x squared. So this thing, whenever I have this x squared, this is to my second power. This is only one of these things. It is not linear. Linear would be x to no power here. Okay. This one is specifically a quadratic function. Okay, and does it represent a function? I mean, the word function is right in there. Yes. Here's where we use the vertical line test for the graph. So use your vertical line, pass through. This only touches this one once. So this one is a function. This one, if I pass my line through, it hits twice. It hits twice many times. I only have to prove one time that it doesn't work. Actually, I'm going to use let's use purple here to show this. So it hits that on that vertical line twice. So that is not a function. Okay, same idea down here. Use my vertical line. It touches that line twice. If that happens in a vertical line, it is not a function. Same with my last one. I got an ellipse here. Not quite a circle, but an ellipse. So at any point here, straight vertical line, straight up and down, right? Not slanted. Touches that twice. So not a function. All right, number 9. So this is where we got to tell a story of what's happening here. We're looking at the intervals also. So the intervals are where I have my slope change. So I've got A, then my slope change is still positive, but a different positive slope. I've got C at that 0 slope and D at this negative slope. Okay, so we're going to describe from each of these. I'm going to write these as sentences. We're going to say from, and what is this? 0 to 5. From 0 to 5, and that's in minutes. And what's our situation? This guy is exercising, right? So his heart rate increases, heart rate right here, increases from 70 to 75. Increases from 70 to 75 beats per minute, BPM. All right, now let's see, from 5 to 10 minutes, that's part B. What happens? It increases again, right? His heartbeat, so he's working a little bit harder here. What does it increase from? 75 all the way up to 110. Okay. Now at the 0 slope, we can be tempted to say that he's resting, but if his heartbeat isn't changing, that means that he's staying at 110 for all of this exercising. He's still exercising, right? So we can say for part C, from 10 to, where does he go to? 30. From 10 to 30 minutes, his heartbeat stays at 110 beats per minute. Yep, now we have this falling action. Looks like it's the end of his workout. So we can say for section D, from 30 to 40 minutes, his heartbeat reduces from 110 to 70 beats per minute. All right, so you can make that story more elaborate if you want to, or you can make it kind of simple like I did too. All right, our last one is about 3 functions here. We've got a graph, table, and equation, and we want to know which of the 3 has the greatest rate of change, if any. Remember, rate of change, that means slope. All right, so on my graph, I'm going to find 2 points that are exactly on these grid lines, like right here and right here. I'm going to go up 2 over 1. 2 over 1, that's 2. So my slope here is 2. For a table, I need 2 points. Any 2 points you want to use. I will use these 2 points. Okay? 4 minus 0, because I've got my y values. y2, y1, x2, x1. 4 minus 0 over 8 minus 6. 4 over 2 is 2. M equals 2. So far, same slope. All right. How about over here? I've got an equation. Y equals mx plus b. I actually think this is the easier of the three. So my slope here is right here. It's 5. M equals 5. So now we can answer the question. The equation has the greatest rate of change. There we go. All right, good luck studying. Work through that. Watch the video again if you need to. You got this.